I love my hair slicked back, but I feel like I look bald. Gotta love the huge forehead girls. Are you a huge forehead girl? Because we can be in the same club. All right, we are back for another video and I'm very excited about this one. I feel like I've said that for the last few videos though, but that's okay. That's beside the point. This video is going to be a January TBR video and I'm so excited. So we have, again, my handy dandy little book mug, book cup, whatever. And this is what I have my TBR cards in. This will be the third or fourth month that I have used these cards to help choose my TBR, and I'm really liking it. It's making it to where I'm able to identify books that I might not typically have picked up on a normal month. But we're gonna go ahead and shuffle because I'm hoping this month I do not pick a thriller, mystery thriller prompt, because I feel like I've picked that literally every month since I've started this. And while I don't mind mystery thriller, it's just not one of my go-to book genres, and I really don't want to pick that. I have 50 prompts here, almost a full deck. I'm missing a few cards, but I have 50 prompts and I feel like I've pulled the same prompts multiple times, and I want to choose something different. We are shuffling so that hopefully we can find some good books. This month I am going to, so my goal for 2024 is 120 books, which equates to 10 books a month. Now, this month in January, I'm going to start the ACOTAR series. So that is automatically going to be book number 1 of my January TBR. So we are going to choose 9 prompts this month, and then hopefully I'll be able to read all 9 of them. We're going to go ahead and get started. The first prompt is, and I like to show the camera first, and then we'll get my reaction. So hopefully this will be a book you've had for a long time. I have chosen this prompt before, but okay. So book number 1, or actually book number 2, since ACOTAR is number 1. All right, next book. And if you've never seen my videos before, I pick all of my prompts and then I'll go to my bookshelf and we'll talk about what books I have chosen for that prompt. That way it gives me, I don't want to identify this book right now and then have my third or fourth prompt be better suited for that book. So it just makes it easier for me to choose all the prompts first and then kind of go through my bookshelf and see what fits each one of those prompts. So book number 3. A book with a purple cover. Book number 4, this one. Book picked by your kid. My oldest loves picking my books, so we'll do that. So next one. A book with an ugly cover. All right, I haven't chosen that one before. So this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Book number 6. We're gonna choose from the bottom, one of the bottom ones. A 2-book series. So I don't know if I have a 2. Ooh, I do. Book number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll do from the top, one of the top ones. A reread. I like that. I like reread books. Next one. A book your significant other picked. Everyone's picking my books apparently this time. Got 2 more. Book number 9. A genre you don't usually read. So this is also a prompt I have picked quite a few times and I have an idea for what I'm going to do with that one. And then the last book is going to be, come on, good one, this one. A book with a person on the cover. Got it. All right, so those are all of my prompts, and now we're going to go to my bookshelf and we are going to see what books I decide to use for those prompts. All right, so out of all of my books here, I want you to pick the one, and I can tell you if I've read it already, okay? So you go through and you get to choose what book I read, okay? What book should I read? No, not that one.
Yes.
No. Which one do you want? And we'll compromise.
This would be a colorful book.
Okay, so so it'll have to be this one. So you get to pick one, and then you pick one, and I'll choose which one it is, okay? So this is Zoe's choice.
Fix her up.
I have not read that one. We're back. and we have all of the books chosen for January. So we're going to go ahead and talk about what were picked. And so the first one we're going to talk about is a book picked by your kid. Now, I have 2 girls and they each wanted to pick a book. So my youngest picked Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. This is book 1 of the Last Hours series. I actually did want to read this pretty soon, but this is a big book and I don't know if I want to jump into a 600-page book, but we have this, or we have Tessa Bailey's Fixer Up. So between these two, just so I can get started on the right path going into 2024, I think I'm going to choose Fixer Up. This one is much smaller. It's a Tessa Bailey book. I usually really enjoy her books. So we're going to hold off on Chain of Gold until maybe a little bit later in the year, so that way I can dive into this trilogy a little bit later. So book 1, Fixer Up. The next book that I chose is a book that I've had for a long time, and that book is going to be Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I bought this back when I lived in Georgia. I only know that because it's got the used bookstore from Georgia. So I've had this for at least 2 years, if not more. And I know there's obviously a Netflix series on this book, and I've wanted to read this because I've heard it's actually a really good book, all about these 2 girls and their friendship and kind of how it's evolved and all of that through their life. So I'm going to be reading this finally. And then we have the next book is going to be a book with an ugly cover, and I don't really have a lot of ugly cover books, and even this I don't really think is a very ugly, but I chose Normal People by Sally Rooney. I have never read a Sally Rooney book, and I don't know, this, while the cover is nice, it's just not appealing. Plus it has the little, the front cover is not a full page. It's got this little cutout, which isn't really my favorite. And I don't know, just, it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't really tell me anything about the book, and it's just not my favorite. So this is going to be the book for the prompt of a book with an ugly cover. So this is a book with a purple cover, and this was a book that was in my what I want to read, the 24 books that I want to read in 2024, and that is Love Redesigned. This is by Lauren Asher. I did want to read this after I read the last book in the Dreamland Billionaires series, which is Final Offer, because I think the lake that is in the Final Offer is in this book, but it's not, this book is not in the same series as a Dreamland Billionaire series, so I don't think there's a problem with me reading this before I read Final Offer. So this obviously is a book with a purple cover, and I have been very excited to read this because I've heard it's such a good book. So I will be taking the stickers off because, this is one of those stickers that you can't take off. It's like on the cover. It's frustrating. But I will be taking the sticker off because it's annoying. So we have this book, and then we have a book with a person on the cover. I'm considering cartoon people as people. So I have decided I'm going to use Kiss Quotient for this prompt. And I've decided to read this because a person, I can't remember who it was, on one of my recent videos had said that I really needed to read Kiss Quotient. So when I saw this prompt and I saw this book, it definitely stood out as a book that I needed to read because someone had said it was a good book. So we'll be reading Kiss Quotient. And then we have a reread, and I had already chosen I think, was it a reread? I picked a couple of months ago, I can't remember, but a couple months ago I reread Twilight, and so I'm going to now reread New Moon, which is the second book in the Twilight series. This is I love Twilight. I love the movie Twilight. I remember loving the books as well, but I read them so long ago, and it's really fun for me to go back and reread something that I read such a long time ago and see if I still like the book as much as I think I remember liking it way back when. So we'll be reading New Moon. And then, like I said, this one is going to be read. It doesn't have a prompt. I was 100% intending to read A Court of Thorns and Roses in January, because now that I am done with Throne of Glass in 2023, ACOTAR is my new Sarah J. Maas series that I'm going to be picking up in 2024. So this was going to be read regardless of any prompts. So we have ACOTAR. And then the other 3 prompts that I have are going to be books that are on Kindle. So I am going to be doing a book picked by my significant other and my husband. I have to find it on my Kindle because we already have it. So the book that my husband picked on Kindle is Meat Eater: Adventures of the Life of an American Hunter by Steven Ranella. We have watched his TV shows on Netflix, and I really did like watching his TV shows. And my husband said that this is a really good book, and it's very engaging and very similar to the TV shows. And he thought I might like it. So this is going to be something definitely different than my normal genres, but because I did like the TV shows for Steven Ranella, I think I'm really gonna like this book. So that is gonna be what my husband picked. The next book that I have is a 2-book series, and this one I actually don't have in my hands right now, but it is going to be delivered at some point in the month of January, and that is Ruthless Vows. That is the last book in the duology of The Divine Rivals. I have a Owl Crate edition that is going to be coming hopefully very soon, but that is going to be the one that's going to be for this prompt. So I'm very excited to finally finish up the Divine Rivals duology, and then also to find out exactly what happens because at the end of Divine Rivals, it ends on a cliffhanger, and I'm really excited to see what happens within that book. And then the last book that I picked was a genre that you don't normally read. And this one is going to be a sci-fi romance book that if you saw one of my recent videos, I'll have it linked above. I read Ice Planet Barbarians for the same prompt. So I'm going to go ahead and continue that because I typically don't read sci-fi-ish books. So I have book 2 of the Ice Planet Barbarian series. This is Barbarian Alien, I guess. And so we're gonna go ahead and continue with Georgie and the rest of, I'm thinking this is going to be the rest of the females. That is what we're gonna choose for that prompt. So those are all of the books that I'm gonna be reading starting in 2024 in January, which I am so excited about. So with that, drop me a comment down below if you've made it this spot. Let me know what you're planning on reading coming in January. Like, what books are you most excited to read in January? Let me know down below. It might be a book that I add to future TBRs potentially. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.